Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. You can start, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay. So, Hare Krishna devotees, thank you for joining 12th day of Gita Yajna. 18 days continuous Yajna is happening. So, thank you for joining, and we'll start with the small prayer. Then we'll continue. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayate Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militamena Tasme Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So once again, thank you all and welcome to 12th day of Gita Yajna. Today we're going to discuss 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, devotional services. So before moving to that, let's have a quick recap of chapter 11, what we learned all yesterday. Devotees would have nicely explained. Just to give you a kind of glimpse of chapter 11 is in the chapter 11, Arjuna wishes to see the universal form of the Lord and begs for his mercy so that he can see. Krishna shows the form and he also explains that is a temporary. While sitting on a chariot, Arjuna could see in place unlimited expansions of universes because of the divine vision given by Krishna. Because otherwise with this naked eye he could not have seen. That is a divine vision given by Krishna. Arjuna describes his universal form as how Adbhuta it is, and finally says he is disturbed to see the frightening of all destructive of Kala, Rupa form type, how the major activity is happening inside that body of Virat Rupa. To Arjuna's question, Krishna replies that he is a time, Kalosmi says, and how everyone other than Pandavas are already put into death. So Krishna is confirming that all the enemies of Pandavas have been killed. They are all dovering into the body of Virat Rupa. Arjuna glorifies prayers to Krishna and is begging for forgiveness of familiarity with Krishna. As a childhood friend, they were, jokingly said so many things. He is asking for forgiveness. Arjuna requests to see the two-armed form or four-armed form of Krishna, which is more beautiful, Sham Sundara form, and establish Krishna as a supreme, and Krishna can be understood only through the devotion service. So this is the glimpse of chapter 11. Now we'll move on to chapter 12. Okay, so so we'll read sloka 1 and then try to explain few points here. Arjuna uvacha evam satata yukte me bhakta swaparyupasate ye chapi aham aksharam avyaktam tesham ke yogam vittamai. Arjuna inquired, which are considered to be the more perfect, those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman or the unmanifested? So Arjuna here putting a question to Krishna, which is better, your 400 form or 200 form, the Sham Sundar form, 400 form, or the people worshipping impersonal Brahman, which is better? Please explain. So Arjuna is putting a question to Krishna, and further Krishna answers. Now, the few points are given here. Devotees can read from the slides. The few points we want to kind of explain here is that many places you would have seen Krishna saying, he starts saying that manmana mabadto madhyaji namaskuru. He's saying, please pay obeisance to me, please surrender to me, sarvadharma parityaja. He says everything, he says me. Here also in the chapter, many places you can see Krishna is saying, you do to me. Now the question comes, is he such a egoistic person? Why is every time he's asking, do to me? Is that something out of ego? Now, I want this to be a bit interactive. If a devotee is assembled here, anyone who is a good businessman or working in a top corporate company, can you unmute and speak? Anyone? Quick. Have a quick answer. No? Silent? Okay. Shashadhar Prabhu, are you there?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. I want you to quick introduce yourself.
He's Supreme Lord, he's perfect.
No. I want you to no, one second, Prabhu. Sorry. No. Shashar Prabhu, one second. I want you to introduce yourself. What is your qualification? You able to hear me?
Pay obeisances.
No, one second. I think you are not listening. Okay, Amarapit Prabhu. Yes. Amarapit, are you there?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So, yes. What I want is that quickly introduce yourself. What is your qualification?
Yeah. So, BE Computer Science.
Okay. Where you are working?
Public sector bank.
Okay. What is the position you are in?
I am an officer.
Okay. How many people reporting to you?
Nobody.
Okay, fine. So what I'm trying to come back is that suppose you introduce that my name is Amarappa Jagannath Das. I'm working for so-and-so company. I'm so many questions I have. And so many people are reporting to me. If you say that, is anything wrong in that?
No, Prabhuji.
If you're telling the fact, right?
Yes, I'm telling the fact. Nobody reports to me.
So similarly, Krishna is saying that I am the Supreme Lord. Everything comes from me, and everything belongs to me. I am the eternal. Then is there anything wrong in that?
No, Prabhuji.
Then why people are saying Krishna is egoistic? I'm trying to answer that question. Hope devotees will understand what I'm trying to say. So many places it's said that Krishna is out of ego, he's talking. So that is the point I'm trying to make. So many places throughout the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that everything belongs to me. Everything comes out of me. So that is not the out of ego. He is giving the fact. That fact is for our benefit, so that we understand. We don't go and surrender to somebody else. We don't go and do something wrong. That's why for our benefit he is telling this. We need to understand this fact. So the worshipper of impersonal are less perfect and undergoes more difficulties. Now, why this imperfection, the impersonalist come? Yes, there is a reference of impersonal, because Krishna being a Supreme Lord, he can be impersonal also. He can be smallest of smallest, he can be biggest of biggest, and he can be without body also, because he can be anything. But at the same time, if somebody says he's impersonal, he doesn't have body, that is wrong. Now, example, I have body, I have form, my father had form, his father had a form, and our original father of every living entity, if you say he doesn't have form, it's a kind of a stupidity, right? How can it be logically fitting? Now, that is a point I'm trying to make here. Krishna is a person, he is not imperson. That is the point I'm trying to make. We'll move on to the next point here. Second sloka we'll read. The Supreme Personality Godhead said, those who fix their minds on my personal form are always engaged in worshipping me with a great transcendental faith and are considered by me as most perfect. So this is Krishna himself saying, devotees are most perfect. One who worship in Krishna in the devotional service is most perfect. And all other those people who worship in an impersonal form, they are worshipping him indirect way. Later Krishna says how they'll come back to him. They'll all come back to him, but there's a indirect way. That's why our bhakti yoga, which is simple and straightforward and easy process. Yes, sometimes people find it difficult, but it's compared to any other process, this is easy. Now, Prabhupada, our founder Acharya of ISKCON, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, many times give an example. Like if you want to climb a 10th story building, there could be two options. Either you can go by steps, one by one, or get into elevator, lift. Which is better? Elevator straight away takes you to the 10th floor, and you just get in and stand there, press the button, that's it. Whereas the steps, you will have to go one by one, one by one. So what is the danger in going by steps? We will get tired, it's difficult, and possible that we may not reach also. We may not reach up to 10th floor. We may tired and will stop. Whereas we get in the lift, there's a straight process it takes you. That's why the result is certain and it's easy and it's a simple process. So that's why Bhakti Yoga is very simple. That's the whole, this chapter talks about devotional service. That is called Bhakti Yoga. Okay. So we'll move on to the next two other points. So impersonal worshippers are worshipping unmanifested, it's all pervading, inconceivable, unchanging. Now, all these people do worship the impersonal body. I don't want to name the religion or cult. The point I'm trying to say, those who worship and they don't reach that right direction, right destination. There is a live example. One of our Swamiji in ISKCON, few years before, he was traveling from America to India. On the way in Kuwait airport, he had a stopover. He had a 3-4 hours stopover. He was, in the airport he was sitting. Normally, when a devotee gets a few minutes time, what he does? He takes his chanting beat and starts chanting. So Maharaj also kept his bag on the corner and took a small Radha Krishna photo from his bag, kept on the bag and sat and started chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So while this chanting going on, the duty manager of the airport, he was passing by. He stopped and said that, Mister, what are you doing here? I said, I'm doing my prayer. Okay. Then he saw this photo and then he said, how can you you pray to this photo? He said, this is my Lord. Then that duty manager said, how can you put your Lord in a small photo? Yes, Maharaj said, my Lord can become the photo also. My Lord can become biggest big also. So this discussion was happening. So at that time, the prayer azan in the Muslims, the prayer azan we call it, the prayer call came, And this airport manager said, "My dear sir, give me a few minutes. Let me do my prayer and come back to you." So he went to the prayer, and Maharaj continued chanting. And after his prayer, the duty manager came back, and now Maharaj asked him, "My dear sir, do you think your Lord has heard your prayers?" He said, "Yes, why not?" "Then when you pray, did your Lord see you?" He said, "Yes, why not? My Lord has definitely will see me." Then Maharaj told him, "If your Lord has to hear, that means he has got ears. If your Lord has to see you, that means he has got eyes. That means he has got a body. Then how can you say Lord doesn't have a body?" Now the duty manager said, "My dear sir, this is the first time somebody explained me with the logic, with the scientific, proof. And thank you very much." And he went to the duty free and purchased a very expensive watch and gifted to Maharaj. So this is the real incident happened in a few years back. The point is that Krishna is not impersonal. Krishna is person. Krishna can come and stay in our deity form, and he can be Virat Rupa also. He can be gigantic also. He can be bigger than biggest also. That's why in our altar, the mandir at home, we worship Krishna in the form of photo or as a deity, and it's not kind of an unauthentic the process, right? Now, Srila Prabhupada gives example. If you want to send a letter to a post, what you do? In the roadside, we find a red box, which is written Indian Post, and we put the letter. The letter goes to the destinations. How? Because there is an authority behind it. There is a people working behind it. And same letter, if you put any other box on the road, it will not go. Similarly, the deity, what we keep in our altar, it's been put in as per authority, as per the scriptures, and Krishna personally comes and stays there. So Krishna, when you worship him in the deity form, he is non-different from Krishna. So this is the point I'm trying to make here. Hope devotees. Now we'll read the 5th verse. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested impersonal features, the supreme feature of supreme advancement is very troublesome. To make progress is in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. So Krishna himself is saying here, for those people worship that unmanifested impersonal feature, its advancement is very troublesome. It's not easy. A lot of trouble they have to go through, and the progress in that discipline is very difficult. So even those who worship, they may reach, but the process is difficult. Same example, going by steps or lift steps is difficult. Yeah. So they do so much welfare work. They surrender after many births. So Krishna says, Manushana Sahasreshu, he says, out of millions of people, very few will come. And who understand Vasudeva Sarvamiti, who understand Krishna, Vasudeva is everything, then that person will come only to Krishna consciousness. That will become a real devotee. Others, they go through so much trouble and so much delay. Now, there is another story, remembers. There was a zamindar. He was like this impersonalist or kind of an atheist. So in that village, there was a Brahman who was doing his puja part every day. He was worshipping. So this zamindar is always criticizing the Brahman. Hey, what are you doing? Why do you worship that stone? Why do you worship this? He was always doing a criticism of this Brahman. So after hearing so many days, Brahman also thought, let me teach him a lesson. One day, this Brahman took a photo of this zamindar and went to the city market, and he hanged the photo of the zamindar on a tree and took a broomstick and cow dung, mud, and kept everything on the center of the market. All the people are watching, and they know this zamindar. When zamindar's photo kept, everybody started coming. The people are crowded. Now this Zamindar, Brahman took a broomstick, started hitting to this photo of Zamindar and started throwing the mud to the photo of Zamindar. Now people who were there, they came running to Zamindar and reported to Zamindar, this Brahman, see what he's doing. So Zamindar came running and started shouting, why are you hitting my photo? Then Brahman said, I'm not hitting to you, I'm hitting this photo. What is your problem? No, it's my photo. Then Brahman said, yes, the deity worship is Krishna, is non-different. How you attach to your photo, similarly, Krishna is attached to his photo. Krishna is attached to his form. So that Zamindar is made it understand. And same way, we also need to understand Krishna in the photo or Krishna in the deity is non-different from Krishna, the real Krishna. Yeah. So that is the point I'm trying to make here. Next, we'll move on to 6th verse. 6th and 7th together. But those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in a devotional service, is always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, the son of Pruta, for them I am swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. See here, in this particular, how many times Krishna said, me, 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 me. He says, those who worship me, those activities unto me, devoted to me, and those who meditating upon me, and whose minds are remember me, throughout is saying me, 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 because we need to understand who is Krishna is. It's not out of ego. That's why I first take an example of, see, somebody is introducing himself as it is. It is not out of ego, is giving the fact. So here also Krishna is giving fact that he is a supreme Lord. He is the only can give a deliver, give a mukti. Nobody else can give a a mukti for us. If somebody wants liberation, we can go to only Krishna, nowhere else. So that's why Krishna is making it very clear here. What is our way? Whom should we worship? So that is why he is making it very clear. It's out of his causeless mercy he is giving that information. Now, devotees of Krishna delivered at a very fast. Krishna can be understood only through devotion. That's why the word bhakti, when we translate in English, is said devotional service. Only when we start serving Krishna or Krishna's devotees, we can understand bhakti. Otherwise, we cannot understand bhakti. Bhakti means we need a service. Even at home, if husband, wife, they say, if husband says, I love you, and he doesn't work, and he sleeps at home full day and doesn't earn anything, and keeps saying to the wife, I love you, is that okay? He has to go and work, and he has to earn, and he has to take care of his family. So that is a service. Similarly, wife, other way around. Wife keeps saying to husband, I love you, and doesn't cook or doesn't do anything at home. Is that okay? No. So we need to do service. Similarly, when Krishna, we say, I have bhakti for Krishna, it's not enough. We have to do some service. That person, Krishna, we need to serve. That is the real bhakti. So what is that bhakti? In Kali Yuga, chanting the holy name. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Namaiva Kevalam, Kalo Nasteva, Kalo Nasteva, Kalo Nasteva Gatiranyata. So 3 times he said, there is no other way. There is no other way, chanting the holy name. That is the best process. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is the real devotion for Kali Yuga. Of course, we can do deity worship, we can do Bhagavad Gita reading, we can do prasad distribution. There's so many other services, but chanting is the topmost. So that is why Krishna is saying that one who serves me by remembering me, by surrendering to me, he is dear to me. So now moving on to the next set of verses. Just fix your mind upon me, Supreme Personality Godhead. Engage all your intelligence in me, thus you will live in me always without doubt. Again, see how many times Krishna is saying me, me, me. So we need to understand this. Whom should we surrender? Whom should we fix our mind? Just fix your mind upon me. And he's saying, who? I am the Supreme Personality Godhead. And just engage your intelligence. We all got intelligence, right? We also got lot of intelligence. That's why Srila Prabhupada says utility is a principle. What is that? Whatever you have, use it for Krishna's service. Which can be anything. Whatever intelligence you have, somebody may be good reader, somebody may be good cook, somebody may be good speaker, and somebody may be good artist. Whatever intelligence Krishna has given, use it for Krishna's service. That is a real service. Fix our mind and Krishna's service, and living in a direct realized relationship. So this is the real relationship, because in-person relationship we can't tolerate, right? If somebody just looking at without the form, we can't even engage in service. Like Krishna, when you offer food, he can eat. Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Evam Bhaktya Prayachati. He says, Ashnami. Ashnami means I'll eat. When? Will Bhaktya. If you give out of love, I'll eat it. Otherwise, you just keep it and bring it back. Krishna can eat, not have to pick it up and put. By glance also, he can eat. Krishna's senses are interchangeable. He can do anything from any sense, not like us. I can see only with eyes. I can eat only through mouth. But Krishna can do anything from any senses. So Krishna can be attracted to Krishna. We can attach to Krishna only out of transcendental love. That is the only way to reach Krishna. We have another 4 minutes. It may disconnect. Please connect back when it disconnects. So 9th verse, Krishna says, if one cannot fix one's mind on Krishna's regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga under the guidance of spiritual master, develop attachment for Krishna. So how do we develop attachment? By serving. Srila Prabhupada gives a lot of examples, like newly married couple, those days, arranged marriage, they don't know each other. But when they start living together, start serving each other, that's why they develop attachment. Similarly, when we start serving Krishna in the deity form, when we're serving Krishna's devotees, we start developing the attachment. That attachment, real love, that turns into love. That is how we progress in our bhakti. Yeah. Next, we'll move on to the next sloka. Now, further he says that in 10th sloka, he says, if you cannot practice regulative bhakti, then try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. Now, we are all grastas, right? We are all have to work, because this is a common question. Prabhu, how can I work 24 hours Krishna? And I have to take care of my family? I have duties? Yes. Nobody says give up your duty. Do a duty and use it for Krishna's service. So that is how we can engage ourselves in a Krishna service. Like what we work, the earning, what we have it, use it for Krishna service. How we can engage? We can use it by distributing prasadam, distributing Bhagavad Gita, or even using our house for Krishna service, arranging programs, or even making nice mandir at home, altar at home. There's so many ways we can use it. Krishna says, you engage in my service, work for me. Give some result of Krishna, to Krishna, charity. Give some charity to devotees or temple. Help people engage Krishna service. There are sannyasis who are dedicated their life. Help them. This is the way we can reciprocate our love for Krishna. So whatever given by Krishna, whatever salary or income we get, that's also coming from Krishna only. We are giving just what belongs to Krishna. Prabhupada gives example like from Ganga Jal, we are taking Ganga Jal and giving back to Ganga. Similarly, Krishna, the property of Krishna, we are giving back to Krishna only. Next 1 minute will disconnect. We'll connect back as soon as disconnect. So 11th, Krishna says, if however you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try act giving up all results of work and try to be self-situated. See, Krishna is giving so many examples, so many options for us. If you can do this, do this. If you cannot do this, do this. If you cannot do this, do this. You know, he is so merciful. He's giving so many options. He's not saying that, no, you do this. Of course, later he says that. I mean, but he is giving us options, right? Whatever the options, if you cannot surrender, do this. Now he says, if you cannot practice regulation bhakti and try to work for me, further he says, if you're unable to work, then try to act in the result of your work and try to be self-situated. So these are the different options he is giving. Charity has given example. You know, so many ways he is giving example. So we'll disconnect now. Amarapet Prabhu, should we wait for disconnection or will disconnect and connect back? Amarapet Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
We'll wait for the disconnection or we'll
Okay,
disconnect and come back?
We will wait for the disconnection Prabhuji. Then
Okay,
we will join back.
done.
We
Okay,
continue,
we'll move on to the next sloka. If you cannot take this practice, then engage yourself in a cultivative of knowledge. Better. Okay, shall we start?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Please start recording. You have started. Okay. Continue.
Okay.
Prabhuji.
Okay, everybody is back. So we're
Yes,
discussing
Prabhuji.
on 12, sloka number 12 now. So Krishna is saying here is that if you cannot take this practice, then engage yourself in a cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge is, however, meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation, renunciation of fruits of action. And for such a renunciation, one can attain a peace of mind. So there are different options given. What is that knowledge? Knowledge, Krishna is saying, knowledge that Krishna is a supreme Lord and we are the servant. That is a basic fundamental knowledge we need to understand. If that knowledge is there, all of the things are there. That is a fundamental knowledge. If that is also not possible, he's saying you work and surrender the result to me or my service. So that's what Krishna is saying here. Okay, so we'll move on to, so it's a step-by-step process with the renunciation not required if you can directly take the devotional services. So one can take a devotional service, all the steps not required. We'll move on to the next set of slokas. So thirteenth and 14th together. Who is equal to both happiness and distress? One who is not envious, but is kind friend of all living entity, who does not think himself a proprietor and free from false ego, and who is equal to both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied for self-control, and engaged in devotional service with a determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such devotee of mine is very dear to me. Again, see, if it's whole chapter, if you see how many times Krishna would have said me, me. Here also he's saying one should not be envious. Envious is the most dangerous. And second should be, one should not be have false ego. So what is a false ego? Ego is that, with the right ego is that I'm servant of Krishna. False ego is that I'm boss. I want to enjoy. That is a false ego. And he's saying one should be tolerant and we should be, kind of equipoised for both happiness and distress. Whether it comes to good, whether it comes to bad, I'm equal to both. That should be the mood. In that mood, one can do the devotional services. And he should be self-controlled, engage in devotional services with the determination, his mind and intelligence fix on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. So if you all want to be liberation, if you all want to mukti, if you want all dear to Krishna, Krishna is giving a path for here. Krishna is giving a way out. How do we reach Krishna? So step by step is giving. And such people are not disturbed by any circumstances. It could be good, it could be bad. Everything will happen Krishna's mercy. So that is the ultimate understanding here. List of qualities are given. Should be tolerant, should be satisfied, should be self-controlled, determined in devotional services, mind intelligence fixed on Krishna, can develop these qualities through regulative principles. Now, what is the regulative principles? Regulative principles, Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya of ISKCON, has given just a basic 4 things. Very, very simple. What are those 4 things? No meat eating. Why? Because Krishna says, Aham bija pida prataha. He says, I am the seed giving father for every living entity. Whether it's a goat, whether it's a cow, whether it's a chicken, everybody's father is Krishna. Krishna says, they are all my children. Now, how can we kill our brothers, sisters? Because if Krishna is the father of everybody, every living entity, our father also Krishna, cow's father also Krishna, goat's father also Krishna, then we are all brothers, sisters. How can we kill our brothers, sisters? Which father will agree to this? So that's why Krishna is saying, no meat eating, no illicit sex, no sex outside the marriage, no intoxication, alcohol, all those things, no intoxication, no gambling, all this, the basic, no gambling, no meat eating, no intoxication, and no what did I say? Okay, so these are 4 things, the basic fundamental, the regulative principles we need to follow. When we follow this, we try to become human beings. Otherwise, we are many times 2-legged animal like. We see in the animal world doesn't happen so many crimes, but human world, so many crimes happens. Animals are much better compared to human in this today's world, because we don't follow this basic 4 regulative principles. So with that principle, we can become, or we can acquire these basic qualities. Further, we'll read 15. He by whom no one is put into difficulty, and who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety, is very dear to me. Again, is talking about me. No one is put in difficulty. Now, you would have seen in Mahabharata what happened, what Kauravas did for Draupadi. Unnecessarily, she was dragged and she was disrobed in front of assembled kings. So that's the real sin they had done that. So they put Draupadi into difficulties, and those who don't do that, and only devotees can do. But devotees cannot disturbed by anything external. That is another point. When something happens, we should know how to face the situation. We should not get disturbed when others, being transcendental, and such people will be dear to Krishna. So that is the ultimate point Krishna is giving, how we become dear to Krishna. Next. Next, 16th. My devotee, who is not dependent on ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some result, is very dear to me. Again, who is dear to me? Not depend on money, or not depend on wealth, but depend on Krishna. Now, when talk about money, remember a story. There was a Brahman who was worshipping Lord Shiva. He was poor, but when worshipping Lord Shiva, when Lord Shiva appeared and asked, my dear Brahman, what do you want? So Brahman asked, I want the wealth. So Lord Shiva said, go to Vrindavan. There is a sannyasi called Sanatana Goswami. Go and ask him. He will give you some wealth. The Brahmana goes. This sannyasi, sage Sanatana Goswami, was sitting in a small hut. So Brahmana goes and asks, my lord, Lord Shiva has asked me to come to you. Please give me the wealth. I want something. So Sanatana Goswami said, just open that garbage box. That is something, you can take it. So he searches in the garbage box. He finds a stone. He asks, what is this? He said, the Sanatana Goswami said, this is a touch stone, paras, chintamani. Whatever you touch, it will become gold. You can take it. The Brahman was very happy. He immediately tried to test it. It touched something, iron, immediately become gold. So yes, he was very happy. He thanked Sanatana Goswami, started walking towards his house. Halfway through, he started thinking, this sage sannyasi kept this valuable item in a dustbin. That means that he has got much more wealth inside the house. Correct? Normally, where we keep our wealth, we keep inside the double lock, triple lock, so many times. We keep it safe, the wealth. Now Brahmana came back, asked Sanatana Goswami, my dear sir, I think you cheated me. Lord Shiva said you will give me the greatest wealth, but you gave me something from the dustbin. That means you have still bigger wealth. Then Sanatana Goswami said, yes, I have a bigger wealth. Do you really want that? Brahmana said, yes, I want that. Okay, now you take this and throw it to river Yamuna and come. Brahmana started thinking twice, but since anyway Sanatana Goswami has given such a wealth, he thought he'll give the next wealth also. Brahmana went to the river, threw it, the Chintamani, the Paras, touchstone, and came back. And now Sanatana Goswami said, sit down. I'll give you the greatest wealth. And Sanatana Goswami said, please repeat. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. He said, this is the real touchstone. This is the real wealth. But today's time, we are after this chintamani, money, but we don't have chinta. We have chinta for money. We don't have chinta for Lord. We don't have chinta, the worry for our wealth, which real wealth, Hare Krishna mantra. But we always chinta for money. But that chinta many times becomes chinte. And chinte becomes chite. In Kannada, chite means crematorium. So more worry for money takes us to the crematorium. So instead of that, we start thinking about Chintamani, the holy name, Hare Krishna mantra. So that will purify our heart. So that is the real utility. That is the real way of spreading the holy name. That is the real devotional service. And convinced is authority scriptures. No partisans, no carefree, not pained not attached to designations, body. And it's many times said that devotees also go through the pain. It's not that devotees are immune to the pain, but our Acharya says that the pain is inevitable, because in this material world, Krishna says, Dukkhala Mashashvatam. You cannot be happy here. You will have to go through the pain, but suffering is optional. The pain also, we take it in a happy mood. The pain also, we take it as Krishna's mercy. That is not sufferings. One who suffers, today the richest people are suffering. You would have seen the film actors or politicians. They are in real distress. They have everything, money, wealth, supporters, everything is there, name, fame, but they are mentally totally distressed, totally unhappy, because they don't have the devotion. Well, but the devotees, they may not have anything in the material perspective, but they are happy. So if you want real happy, this is the real happiness Krishna is giving here. Move on to the next set of verse 16. Yeah, we read. Yeah, to 17th we read. One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things, such devotees were dear to me. Again, Krishna is saying, who is dear to him? We need all this detachment, material enjoyment, does not rejoice, does not, grieve, renounces auspicious, inauspicious, accept all risk for the sake of Lord. There are so many examples how Hanuman took all the risk of jumping from Rameshwaram to the Sri Lanka because for the sake of Lord. In the process, he had to face so many difficulties, and even after landing Lanka, he had to face so many difficulties, but he could succeed because he had a Lord's mercy with him, Lord's blessings with him. Similarly, whatever difficulty we are facing today, that will go. Krishna says, like we have at different seasons, rainy seasons or winter or summer. One after the winter, summer will come. After summer, winter will come. Similarly, the happiness today, it will go, sadness will come. Today I'm sad, tomorrow sadness will also go, happiness will come. I remember a story here. There was a king, was nicely placed, but one fine morning he was attacked by the enemy kings, and his kingdom was defeated. His soldiers defeated, majority of soldiers killed, and king had to run away from the battlefield, and he went to the forest. He lost everything. He lost his kingdom, he lost his family, he lost everything, and he ran and survived in a forest. There was a sage. So he went and approached the sage, asked him, what can I do, my dear sir? So sage wrote a piece of paper. He gave a 2 pieces of paper and he gave it to the king. And he said, one paper you read it when you are happy, other paper you read it when you are unhappy. Now king thought, I am in a real distress, wandering in the forest. Let me read what sage has written. He opened it and sage has written, this will also go. The day will come, this will go. So immediately he realized, yes, this distress only temporary, and he immediately went to the village, started arranging his army, and within few months he has built up his army and went back to the fight and again regained this kingdom. So now kingdom is back, his family is back. Now you open another slip. Wanted to see what is that. Now sage has written, this will also go. So message is that whether you are happy, unhappy, that's temporary, that will go. So in our life also, that is a lesson we need to understand. We'll read the next. One who is equal to friends, enemies, and who is equipoised to honor, dishonor, heat, cold, happiness, distress, fame, infamy, who are always free from contaminating association, always silent, unsatisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge, who is engaged in devotional service, such person is dear to me. Again, Krishna is saying, who is dear to him? We have to have all these qualities. Give up the bad qualities. Silent. But what does it silent means? Prabhupada says silent means not keeping quiet. Silent means speak only about Krishna, nothing else. Those who speak all nonsense, Prabhupada says, they're like a croaking frogs. You know what the croaking frogs? They invite snakes. They get killed. Similarly, when we speak nonsense, it's called prajalpa. When we speak nonsense, we invite problems. So instead of that, speak only about Krishna. That is the real, and it's not attached to anything. And fixed and determination, knowledge that I need to serve Krishna. So that is the conditions required. Happy in all conditions, equal in dualities, honor and dishonor. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Trinadapi sunichena, tarorapi sahishnuna, amanena manadena kirtaniya sadahari. You give respect to everybody, but don't expect anything in return. Don't expect any respect. You should be humble and should be tolerant. With that mood, kirtaniya sadahari. Always chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Such person will be happy and such person will be dear to Krishna. That is what Krishna is saying here, 18 and 19. We'll move on to the next. It's the last sloka. So here, before moving into, we do a small summary of what we discussed. So Arjuna's question to Krishna, who is better, whether working for Krishna or working for impersonal, which is better. So Krishna is making it very clear throughout the chapter, in the 20 slokas, is at least 50 to 60 times he said, me, surrender to me, worship me, think about me, use your service for my service, everything me, because that is the real devotional service. That's why the whole chapter is named devotional service, and that is the real devotional service. Like, normally at home we make sandwich, right? Sandwich, we make the bread on the top, bread on the below, and middle we put a filler. The taste of the sandwich is in that filler, whatever you put, whether a chutney or tomato or butter, whatever, that is the real taste. Similarly, out of the 18th chapter, the middle 6th chapter, and that too this 12th chapter, is the real filler, real tasty. That is the real devotional service. So when we take up this chapter, understand this, we understand who is Krishna and start serving Krishna in that mood. That is a real devotional service. Krishna replies that personalist is the topmost, one who worship. So easy to worship Krishna, right? We can have a photo of Krishna, and if you are authorized, we can have a deity, we can worship. Or if not, just photo of Krishna, Krishna is there in that. And the path of impersonalism is more difficult. Krishna personally helps the personalist to take him back. So this is another very, very important point. Krishna guarantees that such people, though worship him in person, they get the special mercy. The progressive path of leading to pure devotional service and transcendental qualities developed by Bhakti Yoga. There's so many qualities explained here in the previous verses. So what is that best way to reach Krishna? Just surrender to him, just serve him, serve in whatever the way, whatever earned, engaged, whatever the intelligence we have used for Krishna. And if nothing can be done, just keep chanting. If cannot do anything, keep chanting. That's for that anyway, it doesn't require any wealth, doesn't require any intelligence. Just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And more important, that Krishna says, you serve my devotees. Now there was argument, which is greater? Sky is a greater, because sky is so huge, right? Now somebody said no, but greater than sky is a cloud, because cloud can cover sky. Yes. So then somebody said no, greater than cloud is wind, because wind can move the cloud. Somebody said no, greater than wind is mountain, because mountain can stop the cloud. With the great mountains, clouds can be stopped. Now somebody said no, the whole mountain is sitting on earth, so greater than mountain is earth. Then somebody said, so greater than earth is a Lord, because Lord is the one holding it. And when we ask this question to Lord, Lord says, who is greater? He says, greater than me is my devotee. One who serves my devotee is dear to me than one who serves me. One who claims that I am your devotee is not my devotee. One who claims that I am devotee of your devotee is my devotee. By serving Krishna's devotees, we become dear to Krishna. So in the whole chapter, Krishna is giving us a different process, how we can take up the Krishna service. So in Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is non-different from Krishna, who has come in the Radharani and Krishna's combined form as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who gave this holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. He was doing the Sankirtana every day in one of his associates, Srivas Thakur's house. And the Sankirtana was stopped by the Muslim Chandkazi, who was kind of minister of the Mughals. So when the local actually the enemies were not outside. Muslims were the enemies. Our own people went and complained. Our own so-called Brahmins, so-called Pandits went and complained that these people are irritating. These people are creating problem by chanting the holy name. So Chand Kazi came and stopped this the Sankirtana. He broke Mridanga. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started this protest. He arranged the greatest protest, the first ever protest, by having the Nagara Sankirtana. Thousands of people with the carrying the lamps and carrying Mridanga, Kartal, made several groups and started chanting and started proceeding to Chandkazi's house. Lakhs of people coming. So Chandkazi got frightened and he was hiding. And finally he came out and he was started begging Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you are like my nephew, and why you are doing this? Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, if you are my uncle, then why are you hiding? Why are you running away? Of course, there is a reason for saying this. He is your nephew, because in Dwapara Yuga, Chandkazi was Kamsa. The Kamsa's rebirth, and Krishna himself, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In that perspective, Kamsa is the uncle and Chandkazi is that uncle. And finally, Chandkazi himself surrendered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he himself took up the chanting the holy name and started telling to his followers that hereafter in Navadvip, the chanting the holy name cannot be stopped. It will continue. And that is how even today, the chanting the holy name is going on everywhere. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, this my name has to be spread every town and village. That's why Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, took this to the whole world. And for 12 years, he's traveled 14 times all over the world. Today, we have centers all over the world, Russia, China, Australia, Germany, whichever country you name it. In Mayapur, if you go every morning, around 4,000 to 5,000 people come to Mangalarati. At least 125 country citizens are staying there. So this is the, how Srila Prabhupada created. Whole world can live and chant the holy name and be happy. So the philosophy given bhakti is to just chant and be happy. And with this process, we can serve and be happy. With this, we'll stop here. Any questions, comments, we can take it now. It's already 9:04. Yeah. Thank you. Devotees can unmute and ask questions or comments, realizations.